Hello students, this is Mr. McDonald and I wanted to provide this video for you so that you could see some of the basic steps to building a Scratch project so that for Tuesday you are prepared. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the website, which is scratch.mit.edu. You can see me typing it there. Hopefully it's coming already up on your web browser because you are already working on this. We've already joined Scratch in class, so everyone here has already done that. So now you're going to need to sign in. And as I told you before, this is not a DBCR controlled account, so I can't tell you what your password is. I have no access to any of your information. You have to remember it yourself. There is a process here, forget password, if for some reason you forgot it. Worst case scenario, you can start again from scratch by creating a whole new account. Now, everyone has already created at least something. You know that by going to your little file here. There's a little S on top of a file. We click on this. This is your My Stuff. There's other ways to get there. You can click on your name here, and then you can click on My Stuff. It'll take you to the same place. And now you'll see all your projects here. So we all liked my joke. It was hilarious. Admit it. So now we're going to see how I built it. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through each one. Now remember, as we discussed in class, coding is very explicit, and there's a hierarchical order to it, right? And we see that really visually here by this. So when I click this, when I click the top blue, set x to -49, look how everything below it moves. Why does it move? Because this is a computer program, and as far as a computer program is concerned, everything below that set x is a subset to that first line. A subset, by that I mean it belongs to, or it needs to be connected to that. Otherwise, I would just need to simply disconnect it. Now when I move this, only the pieces that are connected are considered subset. This is how the computer, in a sense, visualizes or understands that the command set x to -49 is connected to set y to -40, wait 3 seconds. Anything that's not connected is not a subset, it's its own command. If I want it to happen though, it needs to be connected, of course, to event control. So now when I move my event control, everything that this event control is connected to or controls moves with it. So this is how I know when I click this green flag over here, only the commands that move are going to happen. Now obviously I want everything to happen, so I'm going to move this on over here and connect it again. Now remember, for your project you need to have 2 event controls. You can find your event controls over here. These are the most important commands that you'll come across in this project. Again, because without these controls, nothing happens. You have to have these scripts in here. I'm kind of using a lot of different terms here, but they all mean the same thing. Control, scripts, blocks, they're all the same thing. There are code written that are graphically represented here by pictures so that you don't have to type out the code. But a script, block, it's all the same in terms of Scratch. You can do this 2 ways. I have mine in a vertical alignment. The best way actually probably is to separate them out into different columns. So that way you can see that they're 2 different commands. So when I click the green flag, everything that's now moving is going to happen. When I press the space bar, everything that's moving is going to happen. I could change that by clicking this upside down triangle and choosing another key. I happen to like the space bar, so I'm going to keep it. Now remember, you're connected to these commands that you were seeing here, these scripts, these blocks, whatever term you want to use, they're all connected to just this blue dinosaur that I have labeled Daddy. It's actually backwards, but it's okay. Monica, the green dinosaur, has a whole set of different commands. Now remember, in our rubric we need to have 3 behaviors. And what I told you, for the sake of simplicity, anything that's under the blue blocks or motion scripts, the dark purple looks, or the light purple sound, I will consider to be a behavior. So we have behavior 1, we have
What did the
behavior 2,
Triceratops sit on?
and now we have behavior 3, and we have behavior 4, and behavior 5, right? So as of right now, I've met the objective of the rubric for in terms of behaviors. But you can also see other behaviors too here, right? So we have one behavior here, we have another behavior that's 2, we have another behavior that's 3, another behavior here that's 4, and then one over here that's 5. So each script actually has 5, or I'm sorry, each sprite has 5 behaviors attached to it. You only need to have 3 in the total of all your characters. You don't need to have 3 per character, but I urge you to make it make sense. Don't just do it 3 and say I'm done. Keep going, make yours make sense. Okay? So, a couple of things that I did here, alright? Remember the motion blocks? These control where the sprites are, or the characters are located in your canvas, and whether or not they're moving or not. Move 10 steps means that they move 10 points on the x-axis. You can see the x-axis here, right? You can see it moving, changing number. As I go this way, it becomes a negative. As I go this way, it becomes a positive. It's a number line. If I'm right here, so x negative 28, if I use a move 10 steps, it's going to go to x equals negative 18, which is roughly right here. Alright, so some of you guys are looking for it to go 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, 4 steps. No, what you're changing is the x-axis. If it's something that does a vertical motion, then it does the vertical. And again, remember, as you move to the right, that's positive. As you move to the left, that's negative. In terms of the y-axis, as you move up, it's positive, and as you move down, that's negative. The y-axis is really simple. Think of it as money, right? If you have a stack of cash here, if you're adding to it positive, you're going to pile the money up. If you're spending it going negative, you're going to go all the way down. Same concept. It's a number line, simple number line. Okay, so let me just walk you through what I did. First, I wanted to have a loop. So what I did was I had my blue dinosaur move vertically 10 steps, and then what I told it to do, I told it to do forever. So that means it's going to move 10 steps and keep moving 10 steps until I stop the program. But what I found was it would just keep moving and moving and moving. So I put this if on edge bounce. So what that means is when it gets to the top, it's going to change the other way. So you can see it now. Bouncing, going up and down, up and down. And the reason it's doing that is it's moving 10 steps, hitting this, turning to this positive 10 to negative 10, and bouncing down. And then when it gets to this bounce, it changes a negative 10 to a positive 10 and is moving up. This allows it to kind of keep going in a loop that makes sense, right? It's if I took this edge out, he disappears, right? You don't see him anymore. And he's moving, technically he's going to move 10 steps, but just until there's no more steps to do. By adding this in, I create a perpetual loop. So now what happens though is I hit stop, and now he's not where I want him to be. So what do? I determined where I wanted my sprite to be. So what I did was I moved it, that's about right. It's going to be a little bit off, that's okay. I clicked my little I button right here. I got the X value I wanted, I got the Y value I wanted. I set X to that value, I set Y to that value. Now, when I click, he moves right back to where I want him to be. This way, every time I start the program, he does it again and again. Now, I added these wait commands or control commands, scripts, because the blue dinosaur is interacting with the green dinosaur. The computer programming is very explicit. If I didn't have these in, what would happen is, let's just take it out and see. it won't respond the way I want it to respond. So now I'm going to just completely remove it. So we heard Monica say what, and then we heard Monica laugh. But now,
what did the Triceratops?
It just all happens in a big mess, right?
The Tricerabottom.
Doesn't make sense, doesn't work. So what I did was I added a wait. I had Monica say what. So in this wait 3 seconds, you hear my voice. This is what allows the green dinosaur to say, what does the Triceratops sit on? That takes about 3 seconds. Then Monica says what? Then you hear the green dinosaur say the punchline of the joke. Then you hear Monica laugh. Then you see Monica's blue dinosaur bouncing up and down in a forever loop. So I'm just going to reset. There we go. Same thing over here. So I want the joke said right away.
What did the Triceratops sit on?
So now we wait 5 seconds. This is about the time it takes Monica to say what. And then we hear the actual punchline. Now, this dinosaur would be waiting while the blue blocks are being played.
What did the Triceratops sit on?
So now you may be wondering, well, why can't I hear Monica's voice? Simply put, you see this little blue line around the green dinosaur? When I click the green flag, it's only going to affect the commands that are highlighted for this dinosaur. Same thing if I click the green flag here, it's only going to affect these commands. If I want to see them all together, simply click on See Project Page. Now we can see my joke.
What did the Triceratops sit on?
What?
The Tricerabottom.
Now, of course, I didn't press the space bar so that he didn't change position. So let's do this, all right?
What did the Triceratops sit on?
What?
The Tricerabottom.
We'll try it again. Ready?
What did the Triceratops sit on?
What?
The Tricerabottom.
There you go. Done and done. So this is how you build a Scratch project. Still confused? Simply ask any questions that you have by emailing technology@dbcr.org and I'll be happy to respond to you. The best way to learn how to do these is just simply to play around with it. It took me about 40 minutes to build this project from scratch, playing around, figuring out how long I wanted my wait commands to be, and figuring out how long I needed for each person to pause. My biggest advice to you is to play around. Make sure you have, when green flag is clicked, if nothing is happening, it's because you're missing your event controls. You have to have at least this for your project to work. And in order to get a full credit for the project, you need to have the second one in here too. I would avoid the rest of them because they just add a layer of complexity that you don't need. The other things that you need to know for the text box, the say hellos, or the think boxes, those are all text boxes in terms of your rubric. Your motion controls all your motion. Go ahead and play around with them. You'll find that you can move things around quite easily. It just takes trial and error. If you want it to bounce around, make sure you use the bounce on the if on edge bounce. And then if you want it to look like it's walking or running, use this glide. The glide is a smooth transition. If you say go to, it's going to almost be like magic. It's going to be here, then here. The glide takes a couple of seconds or however long you tell it. So right now it's set for 1 second, but you can choose 5, 10, 15 seconds, whatever fits your project. And then that makes it look like it's moving much smoother and more realistic. All right, we're out of time for this project, for this one, but I'll have more later.